'cause it's time to talk reality's best. Come with us. Let's reality test.
Welcome to Reality Test. I'm Dr. Ray.
Just one day of these. We've only done it almost 100 times.
I seem to miss the word person. I'm like, who am I?
He looks at me and like,
I did my job.
yes, exactly. Check. And I'm Dr. Ray. Actually, I accidentally did that too. And I'm Dr. Kay. Feel free to check in and take a seat wherever you like out in this waiting room of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're taking a social justice dive into the deep end of things because, as many of you know, there's a lot happening parasocially for Love Island at the moment.
So much.
Just an immense amount. So we have Sierra, as you may know, Sierra Ortega, who has been removed from the show. Just like Ulissa, it was basically announced to us through the narrator, Ian Sterling, saying, So just click, everyone attention, please.
Attention. Listen up.
Yes, exactly.
Gather around.
Yes, exactly. Which is true. This is very important. This is a town meeting. We're having a town hall. That's what we can call it. It's a town hall episode.
I like it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is a bit of a town hall.
Mm-hmm.
So she was, just like Ulissa, it was announced to us basically through first the narrator saying she had to go home because of personal reasons. And then someone who was in a couple with her, in this case, Nick, saying like, oh my gosh, it's so weird being single. It was sort of like not enough.
No.
Both in terms of announcing it, which is bizarre, but then also like Nick it didn't feel like I wasn't feeling with Nick and the way he like processed it.
I
It
agree.
felt like obligatory.
It felt confusing because I think my whole, and by the way, as you may know, I'm a Nicolandria stan. So that's,
that worked in your favor.
yes. But I have to say, like, his inauthenticity with the Sierra thing made me struggle with him going into the Alandria thing because I'm like, are you just being fake? And I don't think so. But I feel like the actualization of their relationship, this most recent episode, I felt it. But before that, I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Something felt unnatural about how it all came together.
Right. Because it was forced by producers, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. And now it's not.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. And frankly, I wonder if there wasn't the Nicolandria stands, if they would have gotten rid of Sierra. I hate
They
to
definitely
say
took a while to
that.
think about it.
And they were like, we can spin this.
Mhm.
And they wouldn't have been able to with one of their strongest couples if there wasn't something that the fans were really excited about.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And they wouldn't have wanted to leave Nick high and dry because they think of Nick as like one of their high attention grabbers.
and he is, to be fair.
Yeah. He's somehow the funniest one, even though he's not even that funny, but he's somehow the funniest one. That's like something I realized there's not a lot of humor.
No, he's kind of himbo funny in a way.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a very smart person, but he gives off
plays
that
up
sort
that,
of energy,
yeah.
and I think he likes it. So it's kind of fun.
That's his kind of humor, sort of like self-deprecating,
Goofy.
goofy.
Yeah.
Just being like, oh, look at me. Or like just being funny. He did one of those this last episode. I thought was funny. But yeah, it's pretty rare to like even laugh about his humor. Like just we don't get enough of his humor either. It's sort of weird because that is something that's like very draws you in.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And he's a former swimmer, and I creeped his Insta a little bit because he mentioned it, and then I like he was literally a swimmer.
Right.
And I think there's something about swimmers because you're like exhausted all the time. Because you're like in the fucking pool 4 hours a day, where you have to be funny or like kind of humorous and goofy,
like coping. Yeah.
So I think he's got a little of that going on. He'd
That makes
probably
sense.
be fun to be on a team with.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nick, if you ever want to swim together, call me.
Create your own intramural team.
I'd be really down for that swim group, even though I don't like swimming
Of
much
two.
anymore.
Yeah, right. Fair. Are you coping in that case? Are you using humor to cope so that you are like likable to other people when you're tired, or to cope with how draining it is, like for yourself?
The latter.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a tiring sport. And if you're not being funny about it, it kind of can suck your soul a little bit.
Yeah, I can imagine. Be depressing because when you're tired all the time, it also lends towards being depressed just because your energy is so low.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
tough.
boring. It's not fun to get up at fucking 5:30 a.m. to get in the pool. So if you're not like laughing a little bit, it just feels really soul sucking.
Yeah.
So
that tracks. That makes sense. Yeah. So that might be where his humor comes from. That makes so much sense. And I like that he has a little humor because again, no one else does.
No.
And that's such a like draw for the show is if somebody's funny, it makes you more drawn in for the.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? I feel like that might be why some of it's been a little bit boring this season
This is true.
as I reflect.
And Alandria is not that funny, but she's funny with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're such like almost foils in a way that I really do feel that they balance each other out.
Totally agree. Yeah.
I'm kind of obsessed.
They're cute. Yeah. It's like, because one of them can say something that's like a little bit out there, but the other one will pick up on it and then they can riff on it, which is great. You do need a little bit of that. You need a partner in crime.
And they do have mutual respect, which is huge.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because that's the other thing we saw this episode was her being like, okay, now I'm really ready to like give it a shot. Because that was the thing that was missing before too. Yeah. Like you were saying, it was forced by producers. And also Alandria really didn't take to it well. No. Like she was still interested in Taylor at the time.
Which sucks.
Taylor's gone now.
He sucks. I'm sorry. Not a fan.
I think he's too young and early in life experience to be on the show. He like wasn't ready. He needed more experience with different relationships first.
Clark almost gave like mom energy to him. She had like a very warm approach.
Yeah. She also would sit there and just get eye contact with him for periods of time. Something he needed because he just like ran out of things to talk about, I think, with Alandria and was like worried about impressing her with his knowledge. Sorry, I keep kicking you.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, so I think she was like worried about impressing. He was worried about impressing Landria. And so then he would run out of things to say and it would make him feel awkward and anxious. Because sometimes his humor was like to be mean. Did you notice that? Yeah. He's like, no one likes you. Ha ha ha.
That was awful.
Childlike, very childlike.
Especially when you're in a couple with someone else.
So hurtful. So hurtful. Luckily, she's like loved by everyone, so it didn't matter. But like, it's like, that's so wrong. Just thinking it just hits the wrong person. If you do that with the wrong person too, and who doesn't have that kind of confidence. And in that moment, she didn't have a lot of confidence because of what was going on. So just, really poor humor. Like where Nick is sort of self-deprecating, he was very much other deprecating, which is just such a childlike humor. And again, speaks to like how early in life experience he is. Yeah.
I don't think Nick is mean-spirited. As we said before, I think he handled Huda Maya poorly and wasn't very kind.
Yeah, that was not a good moment for him. Yeah. But otherwise, like, he was like pro Amaya, which I liked. And yeah, he does seem to be like he does seem to vote for the underdog in some ways. And then just like, he can't stand up to Ace. No. Was the other downside of his people pleasing.
But I think he'll watch the show back and be like, oh, I could have just been my own man out here.
I could have decided not to sort of like first suck up to Jeremiah and then suck up to Ace when he started to take on the leadership.
Yeah. And like, it's a bit of like a subordinate to the leader sort of vibe for him.
Yeah. He'd rather be a follower. And it's interesting because like, so what does he get out of that? Like, does he want to stay in the subordinate position or does he want to be subordinate so he can end up proving to that person that he's the best of like the not them, or you know what I mean? Like, is he like a mom people pleaser? You know what I mean? In his family dynamics, he wants to be like the special one.
I think so.
Yeah, right. I think so too. I'm asking that energy. It must be that. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
That feels true.
I feel like that must be relevant data.
Yes.
Yeah, because he does seem to get something out of that, and it also makes sense why, like, in some cases, he likes a powerful woman too.
Yes.
Not in some cases, he likes a powerful woman too.
Yeah. I just love.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
I know. It's nice. I like that he goes. There were some moments like he laughed so hard, like authentically belly laughed this last episode too, which was really cool to see that part of him. Like, I forget which part. It was when he asked if she was sad that Taylor was gone and she was like, nah, fuck that guy. Oh, he laughed so hard. It was so good. It was so good. Yeah. It was awesome.
And I think he was relieved that Taylor was gone too.
Yeah.
He was like pleased.
Yeah, even though they were like good friends. Yeah. It got to a point where sort of like, this is tough. Like, he's a barrier to his relationship with Alandria at that point. And then that way he didn't have Sierra and she didn't have Taylor. And that sort of cleared the airwaves there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But speaking of, I want to talk about Nick Alandria all day, but I know we're here for a less fun.
Yeah, we should do our. Oh yeah. And then do we want to skip check-ins? Because I feel like we're it's summertime. Summertime vibes. And our check-ins lately have been that we're excited to be together. And so that goes without saying this time.
Indeed.
That's our collective.
I did accidentally get high in front of my parents-in-law on Saturday. That was bad.
Yeah. It's legal in the state you're in, just like worth the time. Yeah.
But I was at Cape Cod and I took these gummies that are legal.
Yep.
So I was in Massachusetts, legal. I thought, so it was...
Do they know you use sometimes?
I thought it was Delta 8 and so it was.
Right.
I took half of one.
Yeah.
And it was fine. I took the full one. It might have been Delta 9. I'm not sure. But I was high as a fucking kite. And it didn't hit till like 3 hours later, but then it was like,
no.
And I could not.
Yeah.
And they did not know how to.
Oh, no. You got so high you didn't want to be high anymore. Like,
No.
you get to the point where you're like, how do I undo this?
It was like giving bad trip. And I just had to go in the bedroom. And at first I said I was having heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
But then I came back out at one point and Connor's mom was like, how are you doing? And then I just came out with it because in my high state, I just could not keep up the ruse.
That's totally fair. I
was
was like, that's very justified. Yeah.
Lie is just gonna, I can't. It's hard on a normal basis and even harder right now.
Right. You don't have your full capacity also.
I was just like, I'm high. This is why I'm high. This is what happened.
That's good.
And they're like, they didn't know what to do with that.
Yeah, right?
They didn't really say anything.
Did they have views about, like, negative views about?
I don't know.
That was the time. That was you finding out in that moment. Sort
I
of
think
like real
they
time.
were too polite to say anything.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
those kinds of people.
Yeah, but they didn't like laugh with you or anything.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I did come out later to watch the Andy Griffith show.
Okay.
Which, by the way, is fucking weird.
I have
I
never
don't
seen
know
it.
if I was just high, but I was
Yeah.
like, this is creepy. I was
seen
like,
it.
creeped out, but I'm just staring at the screen and my eyes are all red. And Leslie did, or I'm sorry. Well, yeah, that's her name.
So,
She
yeah.
did laugh at me a little bit.
Okay,
so that
good.
was
She
good.
was able to be playful about it.
And I was like, and I was very apologetic. So I wasn't like doubling down.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I did feel bad. It
Yeah,
wasn't a good,
yeah.
I just thought it was going to be like a CBD sort of vibe.
Right.
But I was like,
'Cause that's what
tripping.
Delta 9 is, right? It's like not fully psychoactive. Or
I think it is. That's
Ugh.
what I did some research and I think they manipulate the THC so
Yep.
it's slightly off
okay.
so that it's legal in more places.
Okay.
But it's not very well understood.
Oh.
And I feel like I understand. some
Now
things
understand.
now.
Yeah.
Like,
Experience.
I just, gummies, A, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, yeah.
I've learned again and again. And B, yeah,
Mhm.
maybe not when I'm in front of
Maybe not with the in-laws.
the worst people that could have happened in front of.
Especially because you
perhaps.
don't know their views on weed.
I think I kind of do now.
I know
think
you
it's
do
like
now.
I don't know
Yeah.
what to do with this
Yeah.
sort of vibe. I
Right.
don't think it's something that they ever maybe did.
Right. And they don't
so-
have personal experience to then be like more playful about it. And they
Right.
also, curious about it.
Yeah.
I feel like certain generations saw it as like the thing that like gateways to a whole bunch of trouble. So they saw or like hit those dirty hippies or something, like
Right.
certain boomer generations or soon after kind of saw it negatively.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer. Maybe.
I tried to eat dinner with them all, but I just couldn't. And that's when I had to give the heat.
Fair. So then you're like, no.
It was just like, oh my God.
That's particularly bad because you can't move. Like you're expected to stay right where you are and you feel like people are looking at you. I can imagine that being a tough time to be any sort of not normal functioning.
It was tough. So that's what's on my mind.
That's a really fair. I'm glad you shared that check-in. That's worth checking in.
Yes. So y'all don't
That's
take
tough.
edibles in front of your in-laws.
Fair. And maybe don't at all if you are worried about how it might affect you. Maybe try just a quarter of a gummy first or something if you want to try it. Or try CBD first. Although that's just not psychoactive, so that doesn't really help you get a sense, really.
Delta 9 is not so benign.
That's also really helpful to
about.
know. Yeah. Seriously. Wow. I've never even really seen that anywhere. They sell it in I guess because, in some of the New England states it's legal, so that they aren't as inundated with Delta 9, right? Because it's the states that it's illegal.
Yeah, that it's more of a kind of loophole situation.
Yeah.
But maybe not for me any longer.
Now we know.
Now we know. Now we really know.
Yes, now we know firsthand. Trial and error.
I come up with some fun Cape stories.
I know. Dolphins, getting high with your in-laws.
Like all kind of mortifying.
Getting high with your in-laws and that being the way you find out their views on marijuana.
Yeah, with would have been different in front of.
That's true. Yeah, not with your in-laws. You're right. Good point.
It was not a mutual
Good point.
exchange.
Very much a distinction worth making. That does change the whole view a little bit. It's kind of amazing. Finding out their views while they're high from it.
Oh,
well, then you know they like it.
You're high when you're like, no one is pleased with me.
No, feeling shame and
Yeah.
no, even just embarrassment. That'll be a fucking no, thank you.
Good
Like,
times.
can I undo this, please? Give me
Right
milk or
now.
something that gets rid of the weed.
Yeah, what's the antidote?
Take a drug. Sweat it out. Oh, that's brutal.
It
Okay,
was.
that's a delightful in many ways, except that it sucks. Just check in. It's good to laugh about now, in
Yes.
retrospect.
And I'll probably laugh more about it as time goes on. 'Cause
Okay,
it hasn't
fair.
even been a week out.
Okay, so you're really just like still having the full working through of it.
Yes,
I
exactly.
love that. And then Connor obviously would just laugh with you about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
He thought it was in the moment. He was just trying to be chill because he didn't want to upregulate.
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
but afterwards
You knew how to
we were
plan a little
laughing.
bit. Oh my God, it's amazing.
I was like, okay. She's like, do you want to go upstairs and play Scrabble? And I was like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
No Scrabble.
I cannot leave this bed for another 2 hours. I was like, okay.
And you can't even like really sleep either. You're just sort of like
just
static.
wow, wow.
Oh God, that's brutal. Oh, tough. Edibles, that's the thing, is like they're hard to regulate, I hear. You know, it's like you can really just get like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It hit 4 hours later is a nightmare to me. That sounds awful.
Because I wasn't even expecting it.
Right. At that point, you think it's a come and gone or whatever.
And maybe it's because we were at the beach and I was hot. Like, I have no idea what the fuck happened, but it hit in a really weird way.
Right. Like, I feel like when you drink at the beach, it hits you weird too. Like,
Yeah.
so I could see that being part of it.
It was wacky.
It
was wacky tobacco.
Wacky, literal tobacco. All the way no.
So kids, don't do drugs.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
kidding.
don't do edibles.
Do them at your own
In
risk.
regulation. In regulated. I mean, moderation.
And not in situations where it would be a bad outcome.
Where the audience is. Yeah, exactly. Where the audience has questionable views about it.
Yes.
No.
In their own home.
At least you weren't like out at dinner and they were like worried you had to drive or something, or
God.
You know.
I thought I was going to get a not my house speech, but I didn't.
Under our roof.
Too polite for that.
You will not.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's good. That is a good time when like the type of polite is a good thing.
Yes, indeed.
But now I feel like I should have more of a check-in as well. Do I have one? I will say that clink, clink.
Gather round,
friends. Hear my check-in today. Oh my gosh. No. It'll be good. I think that's good. I mean, I have had like just a lot of work recently for it being summer, and that's been hard because what I really want to do is organize my study and organize. I want to clean, and I can't even really clean because I'm so busy with the work. So I'm hoping for a chiller couple months coming up, or last 2 months of the summer, that I can, or month and a half, that I can clean my study. What a joy!
Everyone behave and no one make progress on your dissertation.
I know, right? Like, no one do any work, please. I did. Okay, well, that could be part of my check-in, which is I did get caught up on the dissertations I had to review, which felt good. Yeah, that's part of a lot of work I have to do, but I didn't. They were tough. They were like really good, but that makes them tough because you're like really need to get into it, and that was good. I had to give higher level feedback, which was I'm proud of myself for putting in the time, being done.
Yeah, and had a student defend a dissertation.
Right, but also a defense today. Yep,
a year early.
Yes.
Was amazing.
Incredible. Yeah. That
Dr.
feels
Kay
good. Done.
A great job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I do enjoy those meetings. Those are lovely. And when their family comes and gets to celebrate them.
It's really sweet.
Love it. That was joy. It's joy having you on their committee too. I love our teams, the ones that we have together.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Good crew.
Yeah. All feminist by plus women.
Yes.
What a joy. It's like the perfect fucking committee.
Yes. By community. It can't exist.
Exactly. And in this case, we're talking about a bi community for the dissertation itself. That was the population in question. So it was good that we were all bi plus. Like normally you might not want an entirely one like type of person, but in this case it was perfectly appropriate. It was
actually appropriate.
an emic study.
Indubitably emic.
Nicely brings us to talking about Sierra, who is also bi, by the way, bi plus. But then also this relates to the fact that we're talking about what it is like to do an emic or etic study, because we're also going to be talking a little bit about racism that doesn't apply to us and our group in specific. So we will be speaking a little bit for others, but in ways ideally that we can be acknowledging that we don't have firsthand experience with it. So our first topic, we're also going, so let me just give you a little bit of an update or an outline, because I have heard that this is helpful for people to have a little bit of outline of what's to come. So we're going to first talk about what happened with Sierra getting pulled from Love Island.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to watch her apology firsthand with you all in this moment. Dr. Ray has seen it. I have not. So I'm going to be critiquing it on the fly in the moment. And Dr. Ray will share more reflective comments because she's already seen them. So that's perfect. We come from both angles. And then we're going to talk about Ulysses' official statement and then critique her apology as well as her walking it back.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll move into talking about like fan reactions at large. So we're going to use those two. So we're going to talk about their racial slurs, the reactions from fans. Their racial slurs, their own apologies. Then we'll use that to sort of like come out a level in terms of societal response and fan reactions online, and the way that we talk about cancel culture, or the way that cancel culture can affect us all, or not affect us all, the way we all can dialogue around cancel culture. And then some critiquing of fan reactions, and also just talking about, the community. And then we're going to talk about also at that level, parasocial context and the show itself. Like, how does the show respond to things like this? And how is in general, social media responding to racism? And then lastly, we'll talk also as part of that, Sierra's parents' response, because they're part of that parasocial thing. And it sort of lands us on that end of it. How does the community respond to this, including the parents of because there are a lot of parents out there on social media for different players.
Sure are. Who love their kids.
Castmates.
Yes. Players.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Players for the game ones.
Influencer.
Yeah.
It's really just an influencer show.
So much so.
It's gotten, I think, more obvious that is what's happening.
It's less shamed, because it used to be shamed. Like people would be like, oh my God, she just wants the follows or whatever. Just like now people just know that.
Yeah. And they're actually kind of playing into it where they're like, oh, I was the most liked this week.
Exactly.
Fascinating.
I got all those likes. Or people will have a friend run their social media when they're in the house, which is what happened with Sierra. She had a friend who ran it, and then she came out and was distancing herself from it too.
Wow.
She wrote a response where she was like, I didn't know about this, and I will obviously be taking a step back. And, so interesting. We have plenty of things to talk about, which is cool, parasocially.
Indubitably.
So why don't we start with Sierra's apology? So worth mentioning, she used a anti-Asian racial slur twice in 2015 and 2020. So 5 years apart. It shows she didn't learn from the first time, or maybe didn't get critiqued from it or whatever. Not that should be necessary. She should be able to learn from it anyway. It also means Black Lives Matter happened between those times, and that would have been an important time for her to learn a little bit more about it. And then she didn't, because then she used it again in 2020. She used it to refer to herself and how her eyes looked in certain pictures. So super racist, inappropriate, fucked up.
Absolutely. I think that was a perfect encapsulation of what the issue at hand is. So let's watch the video.
Fabulous.
And now that I've been back in the US for about 48 hours and I've had the chance to process, I now feel like I'm at a space where I can speak about this without being highly emotional, because I am not the victim in this situation. While I was in the villa, there were some posts that resurfaced from my past where I was very naively using an incredibly offensive and derogatory term. And before I get into the details, I want to first start by addressing not just anyone that I have hurt or deeply offended, but most importantly, the entire Asian community. I am deeply, truly, honestly so sorry. I had no idea that the word held as much pain, as much harm, and came with the history that it did, or I never would have used it. I had no ill intention when I was using it, but that's absolutely no excuse, because intent doesn't excuse ignorance. It just doesn't. And I just need you to know that I am so sorry. But this is not an apology video. This is an accountability video. I do want to hold my hands up and say that I take accountability for using the word, but I do want it to be known that I genuinely had no idea that it was a slur. I had no idea of its meaning. And it wasn't until I made the public story post in 2024 when a follower of mine reached out to correct me and let me know that what I was saying was incredibly hurtful. It was a derogatory term. It was a slur. And in that moment, I was embarrassed. I, of course, immediately deleted the post. I was apologetic, and I educated not only myself on the true meaning and the history of the word, but also anyone around me who was accidentally holding space for this slur. When this person did message me, which I'm so grateful that she did, I had a good conversation with her about it. I made the correction immediately. The word was immediately removed from my vocabulary. And I think right now there are tons of things floating around, different screenshots with different timestamps, and fueling this narrative that I sort of doubled down once people tried to correct me and was like, oh, I don't know, I'm still going to use it. But that was not the case. The truth is that in that moment, the lesson was learned, the word was removed, and it was a true learning moment for me. And I think since that moment, I've done so much growing as an individual, and I've tried my best to educate others who might be accidentally holding space for these types of words that could be offensive in their vocabulary. I completely agree with the network's decision to remove me from the villa. I think that this is something that deserved punishment, and the punishment has absolutely been received for sure. I think the backlash has obviously been very hard to deal with, but I understand that people are kind of confused on why I would have even said it or why I would have been doubling down and continuing to use it. So I understand where the hate is coming from. And, you know, I can do my best to drown out the noise and pay attention to the truth. But what's been extremely, extremely difficult is the way people are approaching my family and my loved ones. You know, they have had ICE called on them. My family doesn't feel safe in their own home. I'm receiving death threats. Like, there's no need to fight hate with hate. I don't think that that's justice. And if you want to know that you're heard and that I'm sorry and that I will move differently, I promise you that's what will happen. I know that no apology could ever be enough for the harm that I've caused and the offense that's taken place. I know that moving forward, my actions and how I decide to live my life from here on out is going to speak louder than any apology ever could. But I do need it to be known that I am sorry and I did mean no harm. And hopefully there are people out there that can use my mistake as a learning moment, and to just be better, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take today and tomorrow, and I'm going to take strides to be better. And all I can ask for is, even if you won't give me forgiveness, if you can just allow me to grow with grace. And hopefully, instead of sitting here and trying to convince you that I am this amazing person who spreads light in the world and celebrates cultures and dynamics and backgrounds, then one day you can see that from me. I'm deeply sorry again, and I thank anyone who's listening.
Okay. Does her structure say empathy?
Huh?
Does her structure say empathy? And also, does it say empath? Because that would be a lot. But
It might. I'm not quite sure because her hair's covering it.
yeah, true. Yeah.
I'm so curious to hear what you think.
Okay, yeah. It's definitely nuanced. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't look like she was reading off of anything, which I appreciate.
Mhm.
It definitely was prepared, obviously, but I think that was good. It showed she put time into it and work on it to try to come up with what she felt like was a good way of communicating without making it about her. Like, there were no like white lady tears of sort of drawing attention to how much she was suffering from other people. I think she was right to bring up the reaction. I think she was also right to say, I get where the hate's coming towards me, but not my family. I totally agree. There should not be anything directed towards her family, or especially ICE being called, which is racist.
That's fucked up.
And also, like, really could lead to them being deported. Like, what? You want that? Like, that's so dark. And it's not
too much.
Yeah.
And I doubt that all of those people have never made mistakes.
Right. That too. Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like, it's a big swing.
It really is. Exactly. Right. I mean, we were all learning about racism in new ways, including people of color were learning about racism of different groups and whatever in certain ways through the last particularly decade. I was surprised you said you didn't even know it was a slur.
I know. I didn't buy that.
Yeah. Maybe she felt like it wasn't as bad or something. Like, maybe she could have said that, really. I don't know.
I had no idea. It doesn't feel true.
Right? I don't know how you don't know that, especially after the Black Lives Matter movement, when we were learning a lot about some of that stuff. She's from Phoenix, right? Arizona?
I'm not quite sure.
But, yeah.
I would just think, why would you use that? Because you're saying something of comparing
yourself. What
yourself.
term is too.
Yeah. It's like what you're doing is derogatory against that group.
Mm-hmm.
And so that didn't quite and then the details where she was like, I had no idea until 2024. I'm like,
yeah, that's tough. So last year.
Yeah. And I frankly didn't want those details.
Yeah,
I was like,
defensive.
It was defensive.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of didn't need it.
No, I agree with that. And like this receipts of like the chat is sort of unnecessary. I do get what she's saying about like, and I'm glad that we now are talking more about what apologies look like and when they can actually be trustworthy.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But check us out on shit. So like patreon.com/realitytest, REALITYTEST. And then you'll also find us by going to the search bar and do @realitytest in the search bar. You can go to our Instagram at Dr. K Pods, at Dr. Ray Pods. You can go to our TikTok. I love that. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. That's the way to do it always. And then we're on TikTok also at Dr.dr.realitytv, REALITV. And then you can find us on YouTube and Facebook. YouTube, Facebook at Reality Test Pod channel page. And then you can also go to our email. Check it out, man. realitycheckpodding@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. If you can subscribe to our Patreon, that will really help us to keep doing this thing that we so very much enjoy.
Yeah.
$5 a month. Not that bad.
Yeah, that's like a coffee.
Yeah. Get us a coffee, you know.
Instead, you can just get us a coffee if you like. Join our Patreon. Because we want people to enjoy the content we create.
We do. And if we do say so ourselves, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, and tell all your friends, especially if you have friends who are buzzing about Love Island, which many of you are.
Yeah.
So.
Or in this case, if they have thoughts about cancel culture and they, you hope that they can learn a little bit more about it, we're happy to keep talking about it too. Mm-hmm. Probably should. We could do a mental health checkup. We haven't done one of those in a while.
Yeah.
Societal messaging.
Indeed.
Anyway. Yeah, what a joy. Always a joy.
Always joy.
What a joy indeed. And to all of you, thank you. What a joy to have you here with us. We can feel it. We can feel your presence, even though this is ahead of time. We're future casting to have some presence with us. And we will see you next session.